honestly, I never thought this movie would come out. Okay, like, I saw the trailer in 2019. The first trailer for this movie dropped 2 years ago. Arguably, this movie has had the most damage from the coronavirus pandemic. It was set to be released in, I think it was April of 2020, which we all know how April turned out in 2020. And then it got pushed back to February 21, and then it got pushed back to the 29th of October, which is tomorrow. So I did get to see a pre-release of this. So today we're going to be talking about Antlers. Antlers was released in 2021 and actually releases tomorrow worldwide, and it was written by Henry Chasen and Nick Antosca, who also wrote the short story that this is based off of, and Scott Cooper, and directed by Scott Cooper. No spoilers, but the general idea of this film is it's about a Wendigo, and if you don't know what a Wendigo is, it's kind of like this weird tree-like animal that eats people. It's kind of strange. It actually is mentioned in one of Stephen King's stories I read Pet Sematary, which is a very great novel. If you haven't read it, check it out. And it's kind of like Wendigo kind of controls everything. It's a little different than it is in this film. But in this film, it is about this little boy whose father ends up becoming a Wendigo. And so is his brother, so he's kind of stuck alone, feeding the Wendigo and feeding his brother so that they don't die. Because if he doesn't feed the Wendigo will eat the kid, and then he won't have a brother or a father. It's kind of messed up. But we don't really know that for a little while. Like, it takes a little bit of time to get there. And honestly, I loved that. It was slow in the beginning, but it worked for me, which is something I don't say very often. Like, it felt slow, but it felt slow for a purpose. Like, it was very confusing, too. Like, the entire beginning of this film was very confusing. I'm like, I don't really know what the hell is going on. I have no clue what this is about. I don't know. Like, I really genuinely was confused for the first, like, half an hour of this film. And then piece by piece started to fall into place, and I was like, this was expertly done. And, like, I know this doesn't have great reviews. Like, I read on Rotten Tomatoes, like 60-something. I disagree. This movie's great. I really like it. I had a great time getting to know all the characters and, like, step-by-step all these things. And while I don't think it's the most original concept for a film, I do think that the way they went about it was pretty original. Like, I guess the easy way to go about this film would be to make it a creature feature, right? Like Jeepers Creepers, for instance, where it's kind of like, oh, there's this big thing. It's killing people. Stop it. This one was way more focused on, like, the psychological damage that it has on the kid, which I appreciate, because not a lot of horror films actually take the time to do that. They're like, oh, they're fine. No, this kid's messed up. And it focuses on that a lot more than I thought it would. Like, the almost the entire film is around Lucas, who's this little boy whose father is a Wendigo. And it's about him trying to deal with that, and how is he going to get around it? Does he have to kill the Wendigo? What does he do about his brother, who's also kind of sick and becoming a Wendigo as well? Like, what are they going to do about that? And it's a really interesting, like, almost a dive into that kind of storytelling, and I really liked it. I think it was really, really smart, which is something I don't say about a lot of horror films, is they generally are really easy to make. This film could have been a lot easier to make and a lot easier to please to more audiences if it was straightforward, easy to tell, right? If the kid was fine, there's just a Wendigo rolling around killing people. It'd make it a lot easier. But they wanted to challenge their audiences, and that's why I think some people are not enjoying the film, is they were looking forward to a creature feature where, you know, just there's a lot of killing. There isn't a whole lot of that in this. It's really the third act where we even see most of it. And I'm okay with that, because I had a really good time getting to know these characters. Particularly, Jesse Plemons as Paul really surprised me. I'm not a huge Jesse Plemons fan. Like, I think he's normally fine. I liked him in Breaking Bad, and then he was fine, I guess, in Jungle Cruise. But, like, every time I see him, I think he's, like, one of those actors that, like, is trying to be a big actor but never will make it. This film is really good. I think, like he in this film works. Like, I don't think this film would have been as good if it wasn't Jesse Plemons. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, wait, he did something really good here. So good for him. I really was interested in his character. He plays a sheriff whose sister is played by Carrie Russell, who is Julia, who is a teacher, who is, you know, the teacher of Lucas's teacher. And it kind of all goes in a circle, because for a while I was like, what is Julia doing in this film? Like, she's doing nothing for the first, like, half hour. And I'm like, oh, she's the teacher for Lucas. Then it kind of comes full circle as to how they're all going to get connected. There's a lot of really cool stuff in Act 3 I can't talk about. There's actually, the end of the film I thought was really cool. I normally hate the kind of ending it is, but I thought it was really cool. I was engaged with it. I was like, okay, I see you. I like what you're doing there. But the reason I think the movie works so well is it doesn't take so much time to explain the Wendigo. It doesn't take too much time to show us the Wendigo. We get some cool shots. Pretty scary too. Like I should mention that. It's scary. Like, it's a scary movie. I generally, like, I enjoy scary movies, but like most of them don't scare me. This one creeped me out quite a bit. There were a couple shots where I was like, oh, like that was, it was definitely Stephen King-esque. Like, it felt slow, but then it was like super cool at the end. And then of course the ending, which I think some people are going to hate, I actually really kind of enjoyed. But it's a really cool balance, and it is balanced. I think it works. I know that some people are like, oh, it doesn't know what it's doing. I think it does. I think it's taking the element of a creature feature, right, which draws in a lot of people who are horror fans, but it's taking a lot of psychological horror and also like some interesting drama elements as well into it. It's kind of like this hodgepodge film that I actually really appreciate. I don't know. I don't know why. I really do enjoy this film. I had a whole lot of fun watching it. And I'm going to go ahead and give Antlers an A-. Let me know if you see Antlers. I don't know if any of you have seen it by now, because I'm releasing it Thursday night, so it hasn't even released yet. But let me know in the comments below, when you do watch it, did you like it? Let me know. I'm interested to see, because I know that some people really don't like this film and some people really do. So it's like, I'm interested to see for myself what my viewers think. Please consider subscribing, because once we get to 200, I'm going to be doing an awesome 8-hour live variety show that you're not going to want to miss. So definitely consider subscribing. It's a huge, huge help for me. So please consider doing so. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.